Hello, good evening. It's 5 p.m. Welcome to 505. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, President John Dramani Mahama announces new strategy to fight illegal mining.
But they don't fear the Forest Service. They go and drive the forest guards out and they go back into the mine. And so now we put a military detachment. After we clear the forest reserve, we leave a military detachment there.
Tonight, we ask, will this be the best approach yet? We find out shortly. Also coming up tonight, former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame, counsel for former NAFCO CEO Hanan Abdul Wahab, pushes to be exempted from legal vacation trials.
The reason why I came today to dispel the falsehood out there. Allegations are heard by the Deputy Attorney General that I was not well and all that. And that's most unbecoming. I've been in this practice for many years, over 23 years and all, and I've never had any issue like that. I'm the kind who definitely will not avoid proceedings except warranted.
Well, Godfred Yeboah-Dame says he does not expect his clients to be required to conduct business in his absence.
Was any accused person or any litigant, whether in civil or criminal proceedings, compelled to conduct a trial in the vacation or attend trial in the vacation? It has never happened before, so why should it happen now? What is the basis for the agency?
Meanwhile, the trial of former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwame Okyere Jnr. and his wife has been adjourned to August 25, 2026. Details of what transpired in the court shortly. Later this evening, Tanker Drivers Union leadership meets management of Boston Accra over their ongoing 3-day sit-down strike.
The reason why we are backing on this sit-down strike is we have a whole lot of problems that is encountering us, and we've told our management to fix it for us. It's been a while. We'll not be hearing anything from them.
But there's a latest development on this story. We'll bring you that shortly. You want to stay with us here on 505. And the Minister for Education urges members of GAWA to call off their strike to avoid distractions, as he asked for more time to engage with the Ministry of Finance and Fair Wages and Salaries Commission over their matter. Meanwhile, Ghana Tertiary Education Commission GTEC direct senior university officials to resume work. I was in the bulletin tonight. Residents of Kwame Brekusu in Kitase threatening fresh protests in November if authorities fail to act on their petition for the completion of their road.
If we didn't hear any response, we'll demonstrate again in December. That's ending of November to December.
And in business tonight,
government to manage AI risk following Ghana's digitalization expansion. We have more at 5:50.
We have these and more stories plus some interesting analysis to do. Stay with us. And this bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at digital address 0423598 North Laboni, third that work on class 91.3 FM in Accra. We also live on Ho FM 92.5, Hills 91.7 at Daklo, both in the Volta region, Max Empire 96.9 in the Upper East region, Dagbon FM 102.5 in Tamale, Radio Power 96 in Spain. We're live on Facebook. Connect with us or join us with a thoughts, comment, and contributions with a hashtag 505, alternatively through our WhatsApp number 0500,000. 202. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. It's time. It's 505. Welcome. On to the very first story. President John Dramani Mahama says the government has changed its approach to the fight against illegal mining by leaving military detachment in the forest reserves after clearing them of illegal miners. This comes as public outcry over the destruction of water bodies across the country deepens. Speaking during his tour of the Upper East region, he said the new approach is necessary because illegal miners previously returned to the forest after they were handed back to the Forestry Commission. He said the strategy means government has to spend more money to feed the soldiers and provide the logistics they need to remain in the forest. Listen to President Mahama.
We are working, NIMOS is working very hard. We've seized excavators, we've seized Shamfan machines, and you drive them out of this area, they run to this other area. But we are making progress. Of the almost 49 forest reserves that were invaded, we've been able to clear as many of them as possible of illegal miners. Before, what we did was when we clear, we hand over to the Forestry Service Commission. But they don't fear the Forest Service. They go and drive the forest guards out and they go back into the mine. And so now we put a military detachment. After we clear the forest reserve, we leave a military detachment there. And that means we have to spend more money. One, you must feed the soldiers. You must provide them with the logistics to continue to stay there. in the forest. But we will not give up. We'll continue the fight against illegal mining. But Upper East has a good potential, and mining can create jobs, but we need to make sure that these are formalized mines so that they can employ our young people to operate. A few years ago, Cardinal Mine opened in this area, and you should already see the number of people who are working in that particular mine. In Upper West, they have the Black Volta mine development coming up. There are several other areas that we can see the potential for proper mining so that it can produce more jobs for our young people.
So that's the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Let me speak with Madam Mawula Sewa, who is the co-founder of Eco-Conscious Citizens. Madam Mawula, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on 505. First of all, let me have your reaction to this approach President Mahama has announced.
I'm very sorry, but I was at another meeting, so I wasn't able to hear what he has said. So if you can just give me the gist of it, I wasn't able to.
Well, he says that he says government has changed the approach to fight illegal mining by leaving the military detachment in the forest reserves.
I mean, leaving the military detachment in the forest reserves is a brilliant approach, and hopefully that would ensure that there are no incursions into our forest reserve. That's a step in the right direction. And let me also commend His Excellency the President for revoking EI 144, which declassified parts of Achimota Forest Reserve. Nothing to do with illegal mining or mining. It is a step in the right direction.
I see. President has admitted that it is going to cost the nation. We need more money to deal with this canker, especially with the deployment of the military. Do you see its sustainability as far as this approach is concerned?
You see, if we don't deal with this canker of illegal mining, it's costing us far, far more. Let's be very clear. It's costing us lives. Children are falling into open pits and dying. Our scientists have told us that a lot of the food that we are eating is poisoned. So although we are not dying immediately, it's a slow death. We've been told that the number of kidney disease cases has gone up 4 times. So as for it's going to cost us far, far more if we don't do anything about this cancer. And had we acted earlier, we wouldn't be in this position. So right now, there's a window of opportunity to act. Some are suggesting a targeted state of emergency. Water is life. 60% of our water bodies are poisoned. I don't think we want to wait till 100% are poisoned before we begin to take robust action. We need our Navy on the water bodies patrolling. And the Shanfans are still on our water bodies, openly on our water bodies. They need to be removed, whether it's the Navy that does it. But we need to use all the resources at our disposal to get rid of this cancer once and for all. I can't say it urgently enough. We face an existential threat. We cannot drink gold. We cannot eat gold. We need to drink water. And without water, we'll all perish. We are calling on Ghana Water to publish the test results so we know exactly what is coming through our taps. You see, the situation is dire, and we are not taking it as an urgent situation. Let me commend the people of Jema in the Iowin district. They have resisted all forms of mining. They have preserved their rainforests. They have preserved their water bodies because they have a formidable chief, Nana Enopo North II, and Father JB, and they have Jaga. I had the pleasure of speaking to the president of Jaga today. Jaga is Jema Anti-Galamsey Advocacy. Jema can resist illegal mining, all forms of mining, and have a farming cooperative. Are there no poor people in Jema? Is there no gold that they can mine? There is, but they have resisted because they put Ghana first. And so if Jema can do it, why can't other communities do it? Because in most cases, Nananom, the political authority, the police command are not doing what they should do. They are either complicit, actively involved, or turning a blind eye. We have to confront the harsh reality.
What then should be the rules of engagements for these soldiers if they encounter armed miners? What is the legal authority under which they can use force, and are they protected from prosecution?
Well, of course, everywhere in the world where you don't even have to be in the army, where somebody is attacking you, you can defend yourself. So you have every right to defend yourself. That is not in question. And let me be clear, even in wartime, when you poison water, it's considered an act of war. So right now, Ghana is facing a war against illegal, irresponsible miners who are poisoning our water bodies. Because water is life. You poison the water is poisoned, the food is poisoned. So the rules of engagement are simple. Everybody in the army has been well trained and they know when to use lethal force. But you need to use all means at your disposal to defend yourself. But of course, you defend yourself as the threat is. If somebody is waging a piece of paper, you don't go and get a AK-44 and shoot him. But the point I'm making is that you have every right to defend yourself. And that is what the army will do. And with a targeted state of emergency, you make your announcement, tell everybody, leave our water bodies, leave our forest reserves, leave the landscape. And then when you go there, nobody is supposed to be there in the first place. Then you go and secure the area. And then, of course, there are people who have licenses to mine legally. So you have to make sure that those you've given licenses to are mining legally. Because the fact that you have a license, whether it's a cooperative mining license or whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean you're mining responsibly. Just like when you have a driving license, does not mean that the mere fact of holding a license, a driving license, means you're going to drive responsibly. Of course not. You need to be monitored. And the disservice that is being done to this country, that we are issuing mining licenses like confetti, when we know very well we don't have the resources to monitor. This is criminal. This is criminal. We are being poisoned. I challenge Ghana Water to start publishing the test results for Ghanaians to see what is coming through their taps. The scientists have been bold. They've told us our food is being poisoned, not just Kontomre. The Konfanochi Teaching Hospital has told us about the rise in kidney disease cases. We've been told over 60% of our water is poisoned. What are we waiting for every Ghanaian to drop dead before we appreciate the magnitude of the problem we face? We face an existential threat. Let's not wait for every Ghanaian to be dropping dead before we begin to take the necessary action we need to take.
Do we still need a state of emergency?
Well, you see, the facts speak for themselves. If over 60% of our water bodies are poisoned and going, the legal miners are now acting with impunity. They take it that it is their right to mine irresponsibly. And the forest reserve, some of those that have been cleared, people are going back. 60% of our water bodies have been poisoned, maternal deaths, deformed babies. Do we think this is a state of affairs that we should just sit there and say, let's wait? Let's wait for what? What else do we want to see? 100% of our water bodies poisoned, every Ghanaian to be dropping dead. The situation is dire. So I would say a targeted state of emergency. But I'll be the first to admit that even without declaring a targeted state of emergency, there are lots we can do that we are not doing. Why are there still champagnes on our water bodies when champagnes have been banned? Why are we not arresting and prosecuting very highly placed persons who have been mentioned as being involved in illegal mining? His Excellency the President has admitted that persons close to his party may be involved. What is being done about it? It's not enough to lament. What action is being taken? Under the previous regime, we have those who were named in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. Reports have been made about Chairman Wontumi allegedly being involved in illegal mining. Nothing was done. And the same thing is happening under this administration. You see, those who are destroying Ghana, God has a nation ahead, Ghana. Those who are destroying Ghana, this generation and future generations, we have to hold them accountable. They should be arrested, prosecuted, and the PPP, polluter pays principle, should apply. So if they are convicted, any assets they have should be sold and used towards the cost of reclamation and restoration. So let's be clear. We have not yet taken the kind of action that we need to take to stop this cancer. And the clock is ticking.
Awula, thank you so much for your time this evening. I'm grateful. So that's Awula Sewa, who is the co-founder of Eco-Conscious Citizens, an anti-galamsey group fighting, calling for the state of emergency to be declared, even though President Mahama has given a new directive as far as this particular fight is concerned. Let me stay on the line and speak with fraud and crime prevention consultant Richard Kumado. Mr. Kumado, good evening to you. Sorry, I've lost Mr. Kumado on the line, but let's listen to what President John Dramani Mahama indicated again, because this is a call that many Okay, so let me speak with Richard Kumado, fraud and crime prevention consultant. Mr. Kumado, I'm grateful for your time on 505. Good evening to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me have your reaction, first of all, to the deployment of military into the forest reserve. And does Ghana Armed Forces have the manpower and resources to sustain this level of deployment?
Military, NIMOS is a military contingent. So are you talking of NIMOS or you are talking about other military deployment?
The other military deployment.
No, under the leadership of who?
Of course, if there's
No,
the
who
military
said
deployment,
we have deployed military?
well, it's
Are
coming.
we going to deploy military or we have?
No, the new approach is to deploy military into the forest reserve. So it is not like we are deploying the existing military officers.
No, because NIMOS is a military contingent.
Yeah.
NIMOS is a military contingent. If you remember, when this issue began, the IGP set up a special task force, and they were complimentary what the NIMOS military group was doing.
Yeah.
We said because of resource mobilization and distribution of team, the IGP special task force should rescind. So if we are talking of deployment, mainly it is NIMOS, and NIMOS is a military contingent. And so that is what we have done over time. There has been some successes, but it is clear that there are some level of challenges that we will need to mobilize more to be able to deal with it as quickly as possible. Then there has also been the issue of the role of the Forestry Commission gas, what they can also do in supporting it, in addition to what all the security agencies are doing in support of NIMOS.
So now the directive is for the military not to come home. They will be in the forest. They are going to stay. It's just like a campaign.
No, you are not asking the question properly. Which military? The idea is what? What did the president say? Let me understand it properly so the answer. Is the president saying that the Ghana Armed Forces, aside NIMOS, they are going to deploy people into the forest and they won't come?
Of course, that's the directive from president.
Oh, okay. No, but then, if you look at NIMOS, one of the operational strategy of NIMOS is to do the assessment and they will be there. Because if you remember, the president once said that we are waiting for the UN soldiers to come home so that we'll have large numbers at our disposal and they will give the numbers to NIMOS. Because if you say you are going to deploy people, are you setting up two different contingents under the leadership of who? I have not read what the president said. I haven't heard it. But if we are saying it the way we are going, then we need to streamline it so that it becomes clear for we commentators and for everybody. Because NIMOS predominantly is a military contingent. And if you are going to deploy people, is it going to be under NIMOS or you are setting up another contingent? NIMOS, as part of the operational procedure, is to set camps within the forest at the high-risk zones and where predominantly they clear the area and people go. Then the president also said that they were recruiting some other guys where they are going to pay them 1,500 for them to do the reclamation. You remember that story? Then
sure.
I think the president also said, or the lands minister said that the blue water gas, the numbers are being increased in order to provide surveillance on our water bodies. So this is where we were. If there's a new change, then it has to be clearly defined so that we know where we are going. Since it will involve the Ghana Armed Forces.
I see. So very well. So it says it involves the Ghana Armed Forces. We've seen the red zones being captured by the ministry, of course, which is led by NIMOS, which is a military contingent like you've established. What then should be the role differently from what has been done by NIMOS in the past?
No, NIMOS is still in the field. They have a research team that does a lot of research for them before they move. It's a known knowledge that the volume or the land size that has been destroyed or captured by inappropriate mining galamsey is huge. And if the strategy is to have men on the ground, you want to have boots on the ground at all places, then you will need to do the mapping properly. You will need to redesign it. You will need to make sure you have the appropriate logistics, and you will need to make sure you are coordinating in order not to have the element of surprise coming at you. And you might also want to make sure you have the financial muscle to be able to contain the insurgencies and the difficulties that come with it, or in order to maintain ensure that there's continuity in the levels of the output you want to achieve in that regard.
So the numbers or the add up that we are talking about, we've seen the operations of NIMOS. Let me ask this: if you are to assess the impact of NIMOS in the past or currently, what would your assessment be for their operations so far, and the possible need for additional numbers to top up to deal with this canker?
Recently, NIMOS has a leadership change. You remember?
Sure.
Yeah, they have a leadership change, which is a standard procedure when you are dealing with military contingents. And so, the new man has not briefed the public. So we don't know exactly what they have achieved so far. But the old guy, they always brief the general public, and we know what they have done, what are the challenges, and what were the successes. Looking at it as somebody who have done a nationwide risk assessment using Galamsey as a core element, I would have said they have done well. There are challenges. Do we want them to do it? Yes. Should we support them in that regard? Yes. Would they need the support of everybody? Yes. If they get new numbers, addition, would they be happy? Yes. If they have resources at their disposal, would they be happy? Yes. Would that help them to do the job as effectively and efficiently as it is? Yes. Do they have challenges with politicians? Yes. Are there political interferences? Yes. Should we stop that? Yes. What are the other ones when we don't stop? The overflow or the overall effect is that it's going to affect the chances of them succeeding 100%, and it's going to prolong the exercises of NIMOS, and we'll have a long way to go.
Mr. Kumado, let me thank you for your time this evening. I'm grateful. So that's a fraud and crime prevention consultant, Sir Richard Kumado. This is 505 on Class 91.3. Let me take you to the court because former Attorney General and counsel for former National Food Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, CEO Hanan Abdul Wahab, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, has informed the High Court that he will not be available to conduct trials during the legal vacation. Godfrey Dame made this position known as the trial involving Abdul Wahab. Hanan came up in court with the defense raising the issue of proceedings during the vacation period. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seido Wuni, are facing combined charges of 20 counts, including allegation of causing financial loss to the state in connection with the operations of NAFCO and the school feeding program. The High Court had earlier dismissed his application, seeking to have the charges struck out, although it ordered the prosecution to amend 2 counts. Listen.
You, the media, owe a duty to the nation to be very accurate in your report. And when the court adjourns the matter for the specific reason that we have to come and satisfy the court on why still proceedings that we have filed should stay in the hands of the court. How does the media make as a headline the fact that I'm not well? Of course, I understand that the fact that I'm not well was just one of the submissions made by my client in court the last time, and that's a matter of fact. And that's the reason why I came today to dispel the falsehood out there. Allegations are heard by a deputy attorney general that I was not well and all that. And that's most unbecoming. I've been in this practice for many years, over 23 years and all, and I've never had any issue like that. I'm the kind who definitely will not avoid proceedings except warranted or except the circumstances that are very necessary. And so that's it. And that's why I came today to dispel the doubts. Yes, of course, it's a matter of record. I was not well, but that's not the main issue. The reason why we came today was to satisfy the court on why mostly for still proceedings we have filed long before all these controversies and issues came up should warrant the court halting proceedings pending the termination of that motion pending at the Court of Appeal. So, and the court indicated that, well, because of the ruling here, the judge had made earlier in the morning, he was going to first wait until the Supreme Court rules, and after the Supreme Court has ruled, then we come and satisfy him again on the point we are making, that in view of the pendency of the motion filed at the Court of Appeal, we should stay his hands.
But you are insisting that you are not going to be available for...
Yes, indeed, I'm not going to be available. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to be available, and it's in keeping with the position I've taken all along, that we do not attend trials in the vacation, except pursuant to agreement between the parties. Has never happened before. I've been a Jnr, and not even once was any accused person or any litigant, whether in civil or criminal proceedings, compelled to conduct a trial in the vacation or attend trial in the vacation. It has never happened before, so why should it happen now? What was the basis for the agency? There's no emergency about this matter. The only circumstances throughout my over 23 years of practice that warranted the court sitting were actually in election-related matters. The case runs for France against the Attorney General and the Electoral Commission 2012. I conducted it together with the former Attorney General Joe Gatti and at that time, yes, we're just 3 months to election, and the Supreme Court needed to determine whether the proposed regulations submitted to Parliament by the Electoral Commission were constitutional or not. And the court heard the application for interlocutory injunction in the vacation and adjourned the hearing of the substantive matter as far as I recall to October. So really, these are matters, and of course I've had various other cases as well, and there has never been a compulsion on parties to attend trial.
So that's the former Attorney General, Minister for Justice, Godfrey Obadame. Meanwhile, in the case involving the former National Signals Bureau Director General Kwame Okyere and his wife Angela J. Boateng, and Advantage Solutions Limited and High Court has adjourned the trial to August 25, 2026. The adjournment follows an application before the Supreme Court seeking to restrain the High Court from continuing with their proceedings during the legal vacation. The case centers on an allegation of 49.1 million Ghana cedis meant for the state's cybersecurity projects was diverted. The Attorney General's office has subsequently told the High Court that it is unable to produce some of the documents ordered for disclosure. My colleague Kwame Okyere joins me on the phone. Abba, good to have you on 505. What more can you tell us from the court?
Right, KOJ. So, as reported earlier, the trial of former Cybersecurity Authority Director General Kwame Okyere and his wife Angela J. Boateng was expected to continue at the Specialized Court 1 today. However, the High Court adjourned the trial to the 25th day of August 2026, and this adjournment comes as a result of an injunction application which was filed by the Member of Parliament for Ofuasi AUAB, Kojo Opo Nkrumah, pending before the Supreme Court, and that was seeking to restrain the High Court from continuing the trial during the legal vacation. And so lead counsel Samuel Ata-Achia was absent from court today. However, he was being represented by lawyer Peter Osei Asamoah, who subsequently urged the court to adjourn the case to await the Supreme Court's determination regarding the application that was filed by Kojo Opo Nkrumah. And so the trial judge stated that when an application before the Supreme Court specifically seeking to restrain a lower court from conducting proceedings, the court must adhere to that and should not continue with the application. And so the trial judge adjourned the case to 25th August. And so on 25th of August, we will see the outcome of the determination of the injunction application that was sent to the Supreme Court by Kojo Opo Nkrumah.
Well, Abba, thank you so much for that update. So that's my colleague at the court, Kwame Okyere. This is 505 on Class 91.3 FM in Accra, across the country and across the world on classfmonline.com. Let me go on the phone line and speak with the private legal practitioner, Alexander Aban. Counsel, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on 505.
Good evening, and thanks for having me. Great.
So there is a counter argument that delaying these trials serves no one, and that the accused persons have a constitutional right to speedy trial under Article 19, Clause 1. If the Supreme Court strikes down the vacation warrants, these cases may not be heard until October. Does the right to the speedy trial trump the constitutional arguments being raised by the defense?
Thank you very much. In the first place, we must understand that whilst a person is forced to discharge a responsibility, nobody is ever forced to enjoy a right. That's what you must understand. A right is there to be enjoyed. And so it is enjoyed at the pleasure of the person who has the right. And so those who are making the argument that it will be in the interest of the accused person that he has a speedy trial, that argument is completely flawed. Okay?
Okay.
So, for instance, I have a right to drink some water. I decide not to drink it. You can't force me. So nobody is ever forced to enjoy a right. That's also a right. The right to enjoy your right is also a right to exercise. And so that argument falls flat. But we should not, try to make fanciful arguments in this. What we are dealing with is actually rooted in law. What does the law say? And that's what will lead me to Order 79 of the CI 47, which we all use. Now, in dealing with Order 79, I would first want us to deal with 4. That is Order 79, Rule 4. First, because that is the general provision. Then we can come to what we will call the exception, which is the discretion given to the Chief Justice to exercise. Now, what does Order 79, Rule 4 say? It says that subject to Rule 1.1, the following periods shall be observed in the High Court as vacations. So it uses the word shall. And by our understanding of the law and construction of words, the word shall means that it is mandatory. And so that is the general provision. Then we know that there should be exceptions to deal with certain matters. And those matters are what we call interlocutory issues that may arise during vacation. For instance, in August, I see that somebody is seriously encroaching upon my land. And so I issue out a writ. And accompany that writ with an application for injunction to restrain him from destroying the nature of my land. Now, if we say that the courts have gone on vacation, and so you cannot have a hearing, it would then mean that I should go to the circuit court. Okay? But we are dealing with the superior court here. So the court, as a rule, they have put it there that the Chief Justice can. And so over the years, at least the 20 years that I have been a lawyer, every vacation, the Chief Justice would select some judges and ask them to sit as vacation judges to man the various courts. And so if I should use my own enclave here as an example, I would use Kaswa, Winneba, and Swedru as the example. So Justice Orai of Kaswa High Court 1 has been appointed, if I may put it that way, to be the vacation judge to run 5 courts. Kaswa itself has 2 high courts. So he sits there on Thursdays and Fridays. Then Winneba has 2 high courts. He sits there on Mondays. Then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, he sits at Swedru. So during the vacation, one judge is manning 5 courts. So that is the exception that is always done every year. Now, when these judges sit on vacation, they deal not with substantive matters, but they deal with interlocutory matters, like the example I gave of my land, which somebody is encroaching upon. Okay? Now, in the case of Edubuahin and Co., it is not interlocutory matter. It is a substantive matter to be heard by the court. Now, let us go to the power that the Chief Justice has in Order 79, Rule 1.1. It says that subject to the Courts Act as amended, the Chief Justice, and the operative word here is may, appoint any day, including vacations, for the hearing of causes or matters, and here I want you to underline, as circumstances require. As circumstances require. And so for those who deal with vacation judges or vacation cases, it is not so much of circumstances that have required that, but it is anticipated that certain interlocutory issues would arise. And that's why those skeletal staff are kept for those things. And so if the Chief Justice is going to issue a warrant for the substantive matter to be heard, in contrast to the mandatory vacation, then we would have to say that circumstances would require. And those circumstances are not the normal issues of interlocutory matters that we have been accustomed to. It will have to do, in the judicial pronouncement, things that are called special circumstances. Right?
Okay.
And those special circumstances, I don't think a trial of a criminal matter will be seen to be special circumstances. What about those who require their land to develop so far, and because of vacation, nothing goes on? What is so special about the Edubuahin case and all that? But you see, those who say that, oh, after all, the law gives the Chief Justice the right to do this, or the permission to do this, because it is not mandatory, but it is permissive. I would draw those people to go to Article 296 of the 1992 Constitution. And with your permission, let me read that also for your understanding and for our collective education. It says that where in this Constitution or in any other law, discretionary power is vested in any person or authority. Of course, that's a discretionary power given to the Chief Justice. That discretionary power shall be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid. The exercise of the discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, capricious, or biased, either by resentment, prejudice, personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with the due process of law. And so these two are what is important, because the Chief Justice is actually exercising administrative decision here, discretion here. That's not judicial. This is administrative. All right?
I see.
So are the circumstances such that it will convey impressions to a section of the public that this is being done for reasons other than circumstances that require? because we cannot run away from the fact that these are political cases. So if you do it in such a way that people will feel that it is politically motivated, you may do it with all the best of intentions. But so long as it sends that signal, it will be caught by the dictum of Justice Hewitt, who said many years ago that in the dispensation of justice, justice must not only be done as a substantive matter, but it must be manifestly seen to be done.
Okay.
Meaning that don't do things that would make people have the perception that it is being done for reasons other than just law. And so I've told you, and I've said it earlier, not on this platform, that when we are dealing with issues of governance, issues of public, it is run by an unruly horse called perception. And if that unruly horse takes the center stage for a huge section of the populace to say that, oh, this is politically motivated, oh, this is politically motivated, then it means that we are not doing what we call rule of law. Because those who are just pointing to Order 79, Rule 11, must understand that rule of law does not necessarily mean the existence of some law you can point to, but that the application of that law must be even-handedly done in such a manner that the people in the society would say in a chorus that this is right.
Okay.
This is right.
I see.
I can also take you to Article 23.
Okay, lawyer, I sorry to cut you, but quick one before I let you go. The examples you made, obviously, the average Ghanaian watching, I mean, this may not care about the procedural technicalities of the law. They see high-profile cases, high-profile accused persons using legal arguments to delay their trials. How does the judiciary balance these constitutional arguments based on the examples you've made with the public interest in seeing justice done without undue delay? Counsel, are you with me? Hello, lawyer. Okay. I seem to have lost connection with lawyer Alexander Obin. We're trying to put him. I've lost him on the line. This is 505 here on Class 91.3 FM in Accra, across the country and across the world on classfmonline.com. I want to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll deal with more stories here on 505.
30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now, to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards, plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead because every move counts. Ghana, let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points, and win big. Dial *530# or visit the My MTN app for more.
Chilling with friends. Mini me a chomo, tasty. Take chuck your hunger. Mini me a chomo, crunchy. Break time, please. Mini me a chomo, tasty. Mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo, mini me a chomo. Come and taste the fun. Mini me a chomo, mini me a
advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back from that quick commercial break. Some 45 minutes after 5 to other stories. The Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union have suspended its sit-down strike. The action was over alleged discrepancies in fuel measurements at Bost's Kumasi Depot. The strike affected tanker drivers in Ashanti region, Bono Ahafo, and Western North regions, with the drivers demanding urgent action to address what they describe as persistent challenges with fuel measurements at the depot. The drivers said discrepancies in the quantities recorded by the meters during loading and offloading have resulted in alleged fuel shortage being attributed to them, leaving them to bear the financial costs. They are also raising concerns about inadequate parking facilities, poor conditions at the depot, and other operational challenges they see affecting their work and safety. The drivers have maintained that they will remain off the road for the duration of the 3-day action unless their concerns receive the necessary attention. Of course, there was a meeting, and my colleague Veronica Amade joins me in studio with what the drivers are currently talking about. Ver, tell us more.
So, following an engagement between Bost Energies Limited Company and the national executives of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union on August 17, 2026, the parties agreed to undertake their unlisted actions to resolve outstanding challenges. So, one, the union executives in Kumasi to coordinate and execute the resurfacing of the AG car park in Kumasi effective immediately. Also, a contractor has been dispatched to Kumasi to attend to the hanging loading arm effectively today. And so parties to engage the National Petroleum Authority, which is NPA, on the meter-to-meter error margin in September 2026 and report on the outcome. Therefore, so contracts concerning the construction of a new car park in Kumasi has also been awarded, and updates will be provided in due course. So this the agreements they've undertook to resolve the outstanding challenges.
Vero, thank you so much for giving us that update. So that's my colleague Veronica Amade. Well, sometimes big moments starts with small things: a call to a loved one, a Momo transaction to support family, a bundle to grow your business. But what if they could lead to something bigger than you ever imagined? MTN at 30 promo: every call, every text, every browse, every Momo transaction, every connection to home fiber, and every activity on my MTN app earns you more points towards an amazing reward, including 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados, over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes, and unforgettable experiences just for you, because every move counts. Dial *530# or use my MTN app to participate now, and let's stay connected everywhere you go. MTN at 30 promo. Make every move count. Terms and conditions applied. The long-running frustration over the Dom Kwame Brekusu Ketase Road has taken a fresh turn, with residents threatening another demonstration in November and December if authorities fail to address their concerns. Hundreds of residents from Dom Kwame, Kwame Brekusu, Ajimenti, Ketase, and adjoining communities took to the street to demand the immediate completion of the road. They say the poor conditions of the road continues to affect commuters, motorists, businesses, and residents, despite repeated assurances that the project would be completed. The protesters have presented a petition to the Member of Parliament for Dom Kwabenya, Faustina Elekpili Makurugu, and the Member of Parliament for Ekwapim South, Laurentia Jiwanu, at the Ga East Municipal Assembly Chief Executive, that's Edmond Agbo. The petition was received on behalf of the 3 officials, with the residents demanding urgent action and a clear timeline of the completion of the road. The residents say they have waited for years for the road to be completed and no longer prepared to accept assurances without visible progress. The 23-kilometer Dome Ketase Road has been long-standing concern for residents and road users. Government cut short for the rehabilitation of the road in July 2022, with First Sky Construction Limited awarded a contract and with 24-month completion period. That means the project was originally expected to be completed by July 2024, but the deadline was missed, with the project subsequently affected by funding challenges. A parliamentary report indicated that As of September 2025, work on the project was only about 27% complete.
It's a peaceful demonstration for our road. Our road needs to be fixed. For over 20 years, this road has not been fixed. We voted massively for the government.
The problem we face for this road, the road and network is very bad. It's very, very, very bad. It's not good. If you are going dust, if you students they are going to school dust, then they sick, then they have cold and catarrh and etc. Because of that, that's the nature of the road. We are tired of the road.
Because of the bad road, that's why today we decided to come on set to ask the government to fix our community road from Pabenya to Kitase. It's been a long. Drivers on the road are complaining. Citizens on the road are complaining. Sometimes even to get access to work safe is an issue. So we are pleading with the government.
So this road, they need to complete it for us. Early by next year or December, next year December, this road must be done.
This road has been abandoned for so long. I mean, it has been abandoned for many years. And this road is a very important road from Accra leading to another region, which is the eastern region. So we are appealing to the government to come to our aid and fix the road for us.
It's been so long, for the last 16 years, in and out. We've had, they start, they stop.
So that's residents are protesting there. Let me speak with Adams Kublenu, who is the chairman of the Kwabena taxi station. He joins me on the phone. Adams, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on the show.
Good evening.
What is the current situation? If you can paint a picture to us, how long have you been waiting for the completion of this road? And what are the challenges you are facing as a driver?
Thank you. And it has been a long time, over 20 years, since we have been waiting for the government to help us to construct this our road. But then we've tried and exhaust all avenues, but nobody is coming to our aid. And it has been disturbing us, our cars, our shocks, our engines, a whole lot. And then not only the cars, but our spine, our waist. We go to the house and we are not able to perform as even men, just because of the deplorable state of the road.
Hey.
Yes.
I see. So beyond the demonstration, what next? I've seen that you are threatening another demonstration November and December. Between this period of August and November, what will be the actions of the drivers if the road is not being properly fixed?
Okay. For now, we've painted a picture to the government because it's both Domi Kwabena constituency and then Ekapim South. This is not about politics, but we are all citizens and we deserve better. Domi Kwabena is one of the largest constituencies with huge number of electric. But then our road has been in this condition over 3 years. So this demonstration alone should show the government that the people of this constituency shouldn't be taken as we are not part of Ghana. Because we voted them massively, both Ekwatin South and then Domi Kwabena constituency, because of the deplorable state of the road. The road has been worked on for a time, and the money popped on this road. If we don't speak up as citizens, that money will go to waste, and it will be at the cost to the state. They have to come to our aid and come and finish the project. It's raining, and then the erosion is washing away the topsoil. All that they've done is going to waste. So they should come and complete this project as soon as possible. But if they don't, we know that the government is a listening government. And we've not done this kind of demonstration in this constituency before. And this is two constituencies coming together. Both constituencies have MPs in parliament representing NDC. And we see that if they are not speaking for us in Parliament, we've heard in the news that they said the engineers on the road working, and there's nothing of that sort, and they are not able to work out. So we think that this is the only medium the people in Parliament and the government can hear us, and they'll come into our aid and fix our road for us.
I see. Adams, let me thank you so much for your time. I pray that government fix their road, because the way he's talking about they can't perform at night is a very serious matter. That is a national emergency that government needs to attend to them. So please, on that note, Prempe has come to give us business.
In business, the government has exceeded its treasury bill target by 88% as investor interest continued to rise. According to auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government got a significant 11.2 billion Ghana cedis from investors. There's more in the following news report.
Despite the strong demand, the government accepted a total of 4.88 billion Ghana cedi of the bids submitted. Demand was strong for the 91-day bill, where investors tendered 5.07 billion Ghana cedi, of which the government accepted 4.07 billion Ghana cedi, representing about 80% of bids. For the 182-day bill, investors submitted 1.28 billion Ghana cedi in bids, of which 526.44 million Ghana cedi was accepted. The 364-day bill attracted 4.93 billion Ghana cedi in bids, but the government accepted just 289.70 million Ghana cedi. The latest auction points to controlled borrowing by the sovereign despite strong investor appetite, reinforcing the downward pressure on T-bill yields. For the next auction, the government is seeking to raise 5.43 billion Ghana cedi through the insurance of the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day treasury bills.
So that was a news report. The government has advanced plans to strengthen Ghana's digital economy, including AI programs and the 1 Million Coders Initiative. Speaking at the launch of the 2026 National ICT Week, the Deputy Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, Mohammed Adams Suparu, said the 1 Million Coders program seeks to equip and recruit 1 million Ghanaians with coding and digital skills. He said the ministry will in the coming days implement measures to manage the risks associated with growing use of AI while advancing reforms in Ghana's digital services.
This means advancing a coordinated, interoperable, skill and innovation-driven digital ecosystem that creates opportunities for citizens, businesses, public institutions, and young people across the country. Over the past year, government has taken significant steps towards advancing this digital transformation agenda. One of the major milestones has been the launch of the Ghana's National Artificial Intelligence Strategy in April 2026. The strategy provides a national framework for the responsible and inclusive adoption of artificial intelligence, with emphasis on data governance, infrastructure, talent development, ethical use, and practical application across sectors of the economy. It also set out Ghana's ambition to position itself as the leading artificial intelligence hub in Africa.
So you had the Deputy Communications Minister Mohammed Adams Suparu. And on the international front, before we go, Ferrari's first ever electric car has fetched $40 million in a charity sale, setting a record for a new vehicle sold at auction. The sale of the Ferrari Luce, a brainchild of the British iPhone designer Sir John Eve, raised more than 35 times the usual price of the car at the event at RM Sotheby's in California. So that's it for business. Back to you, KOG.
Thank you, Premper, for bringing us business. Let's do some few messages before I take leave of you. Francis and Accra says, hi, KOG. If we Ghanaians may ask, the vacation orders of our judges higher than our 1992 constitution. The people around JMM is informing him on the Galamsey issues happening around the country. Okay, so thank you for your message. Prosper Ndewanya says that KOJ lawyer Aban showed spares our ears, birds of the same feathers flock together. Hashtag 505. He adds that. So lawyer is talking too much. Anyway, good evening 505. Okay, so Eben sends another one. President Mahama Brekusu Road needs to be fixed immediately, and we know you're the man of infrastructure, so hear our cry. Okay, thank you. Park Wisin La Paz says, KOJ, seems to me that authorities aren't arresting the big hands behind the Galamsey who are sponsoring the act. They are arresting those who are just looking for their daily bread. Moreover, traditional leaders who allow this act to take place within their jurisdiction should be blamed. I totally 200% agree with you, my brother. From Nelly in Michelle Camp says, KOJ, the president for that matter, the government alone can never succeed in this Galamsey fight, no matter the number of soldiers, without the involvement of the local authorities, MCs and DCs, etc. He adds that Erica from Gulf City says, good evening, class. I think those doing Galamsey are enemies to the government and to Ghanaians. If they start shooting them, all this nonsense will stop. Please, they shouldn't shoot them. We need to find a better way of dealing with this canker called illegal mining. Ifo Komla says, Kwame, the president of Ghana, His Excellency, is ever well committed to eradicate the fight against illegal mining. That is destroying our water bodies, forest reserves, and polluting our lands. Okay, thank you for your message. Rapture Victor says, good evening, class FM. In fact, the ripple effect of Gawa strike is damaging and will affect the academic calendar. We beseech governments and the Ghana Education Service to resolve the outstanding issues for academic work to function. Hashtag 505. He adds that this one says that bravo to President Mahama to send our soldiers to stay in the forest reserves to fight the Galamsey. We are tired of seeing them smartly dressed and moving around in and around town and cities. As for Richard Kumado, the theory of analyzing security matters is too much. We need practicality. Watercow in Tama also says so. That's all for 505 this evening. My name is Kwame Okyere Jnr. Pleasure coming your way. We'll do the same time tomorrow at 5 p.m. on Class 91.3. I leave you in the hands of Mr. Mauto, who will drive you home safely. Good evening, good night.
Bringing you the best in television content and